Did you know that lemon can be one of the most powerful allies for your health, but that it can also become dangerous if you combine it with certain foods or medications? That's right. Something so simple, so common, so everyday, could be interfering with your digestion, your blood pressure, or even your heart, without you having the slightest idea. For years we've been told that lemon cleanses, detoxifies, reduces fever, improves digestion, boosts immunity. And that's true. But there's something that isn't said as often. Not everything can be mixed with lemon, especially if we're already past 60. Today, I want to speak to you, clearly and directly, about 3 forbidden combinations with lemon that thousands of older people are doing every day, and that could be silently harming their health. One of these combinations is found in millions of homes. It's in your kitchen, in your fridge, in your routine. And if you're doing it, this video could help you avoid a serious consequence. This isn't about creating fear. It's about creating awareness. Because what today seems like a minor discomfort could turn into something serious tomorrow. So if you have lemon at home, or you consume it frequently on an empty stomach, with your meals, in infusions, or as a home remedy, this message is for you. Before we begin, I'd love to get to know you a little better. From which country or city are you watching us? How many years old are you? Do you usually use lemon in your day-to-day life? Leave your answer in the comments, because you're not alone. This community is full of people like you who want to live better, learn more, and share their experience. Now then, get ready. What you're about to hear could change the way you see this fruit forever. The power of lemon after 60. Lemon, that yellow fruit so common in our kitchens, has been a symbol of health for centuries. And with good reason. Its acidic, refreshing taste not only enhances our dishes, it also contains a powerful load of nutrients that can make a real difference, especially when we reach our senior years. After 60 years, the body changes. Digestion becomes slower, the immune system weakens, circulation isn't as efficient as before, and this is where lemon can play a very beneficial role if it's used the right way. To start, lemon is one of the most concentrated natural sources of vitamin C, an essential antioxidant that helps reinforce the body's defenses, protect cells from aging, and speed tissue healing. But that's not all. It also contains flavonoids, natural compounds that improve blood circulation, fight inflammation, and help maintain heart health. Although it tastes acidic, lemon has an alkalizing effect inside the body. This means it can help balance internal pH and reduce stomach acidity if consumed properly. Yes, it's ironic but true. An acidic fruit can balance acidity. In addition, it's a great ally of the digestive system. It stimulates the production of bile and gastric juices, which makes digestion easier, especially after a heavy meal. It also has mild diuretic properties that can help eliminate toxins and reduce abdominal bloating. Many older people have discovered this for themselves. Like the case of Martha, a 75-year-old woman who for years suffered from slow digestion, heaviness after meals, and that feeling of bloating that wouldn't go away. One day, on a friend's recommendation, she began drinking warm water with a few drops of lemon in the mornings. Within a few weeks, she noticed the difference. She felt lighter, with less gas, and in a better mood. It wasn't a miracle cure, but it was a small change that made a big difference in her daily life. Often, it isn't about major medications or complicated solutions. Sometimes simple changes are the most powerful ones. However, as with everything in life, there's a side that isn't usually shown. Because although lemon has wonderful properties, it can also become a silent enemy when we mix it the wrong way. Especially in adulthood, when the body is more sensitive to certain combinations. That's why, in the next parts, we're going to speak very clearly about 3 forbidden combinations, mixes that many people make without knowing, and that could be quietly affecting their health. Are you ready to discover them? Let's go with the first one. First dangerous combination, lemon plus dairy, especially hot milk. Lemon is healthy, milk can be healthy too, but when we put them together, things change. One of the most common combinations especially among older people looking for home remedies, is mixing hot milk with a few drops of lemon. It may seem harmless, even comforting. Some do it to soothe the throat, others out of habit or because they believe it enhances lemon's digestive effect. But the truth is that this combination can be more harmful than beneficial, especially if it's repeated frequently. Why? Because the acid in lemon reacts with the proteins and fats in milk, causing a kind of immediate curdling in the stomach. This reaction isn't dangerous in the sense of being poisonous, but it can be very uncomfortable for an older person's digestive system. When lemon comes into contact with hot milk, dairy proteins like casein coagulate abruptly. This produces a thick mixture that's hard to digest. The stomach has to work twice as hard to break down that mass, which can trigger symptoms like bloating, gas, heaviness, heartburn, and even reflux. And if you already have slow digestion, or you take medications for gastritis or for blood pressure, this combination can worsen those problems. Let me tell you about Charles, a 78-year-old man who used to drink hot milk with lemon almost every day. He believed it helped soothe his throat and sleep better. At first he didn't feel anything, but over time he began to have constant digestive discomfort. He felt a burning in his stomach, discomfort after dinner, and reflux that woke him up at night. In the end, his doctor diagnosed mild gastritis, caused in part by his daily habit. No, lemon isn't bad. Milk isn't bad either. But their combination, in certain bodies, and especially as the years go by, can be a bomb for the stomach. And this isn't to alarm you. We're not talking about a poison, but we are talking about a mix that, if it becomes part of your daily routine, can affect your digestive well-being without you directly connecting the dots. So, what should you do if you want to care for your digestion but also enjoy a warm, comforting drink? A good alternative is to prepare a gentle infusion with fresh ginger, chamomile, or mint, and add a few drops of lemon once it has cooled to warm. This combination is much kinder to the stomach, stimulates digestion, relieves inflammation, and doesn't produce the negative effects of acid on dairy proteins. Another safe option is to consume lemon separately, for example in warm water when you wake up, while avoiding mixing it with dairy in the same meal. Remember, this isn't about stopping lemon consumption. It's about knowing how and when to use it, so your body receives it as an ally, not as an irritation. Now let's move to the second combination you should avoid, and this one is even more important if you take daily medications. Second dangerous combination: lemon plus antihypertensive or anticoagulant medications. Lemon is natural, and because it's natural, many people assume it can't cause problems. But that isn't always so, especially when we're talking about medications. One of the most dangerous combinations for older adults' health is mixing lemon with certain medications, especially those used to control blood pressure or prevent blood clots, such as anticoagulants. The problem isn't lemon itself, but how it interacts with the body when drugs are circulating at the same time. Many medications we use after 60 years have delicate effects. They're designed to work at a precise dose in a controlled environment inside the body. When you introduce something like lemon, which alters stomach acidity and can change the pace of absorption, the entire balance can be affected. There are two main risks: interference and potentiation. Interference occurs when lemon makes the body absorb less of the medication, reducing its effectiveness. This can be very dangerous if you depend on that medication to keep your pressure stable or to prevent a stroke. Potentiation, on the other hand, is when lemon intensifies the drug's effect. And although that might sound good, it can actually cause a sharp drop in blood pressure, dizziness, bleeding, or even fainting. I'll tell you about Jane, an 81-year-old woman, active, upbeat, and always looking for natural remedies. For months, Jane drank a glass of warm water with lemon every morning on an empty stomach. She had read that it was good for digestion, for immunity, and for keeping the body clean. What Jane didn't know was that this simple habit was interfering with her blood pressure medication. The acid in lemon affected the speed at which her body absorbed the drug. On some days, the medication seemed not to work. On others, her pressure dropped so much she felt constant dizziness. For weeks, she didn't understand what was happening. She thought it was age, that it was normal to feel a bit weak. But her doctor, after reviewing her habits, identified the cause, the interaction between her medicine and lemon. And no, Jane didn't do anything wrong. No one had warned her. No one told her that a simple glass of water with lemon could alter such an important medical treatment. That's why this point is so important. Before incorporating home remedies into your routine, always consult your doctor, especially if you're taking medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, the heart, or if you've been diagnosed with a risk of thrombosis. This isn't about demonizing lemon. It's about understanding that the body, when under medical treatment, doesn't function the same. Everything that enters, no matter how natural, can alter something. Also remember that not all bodies react the same. What works for your neighbor might harm you, and what seems harmless to you might be provoking an invisible but cumulative effect. The best thing you can do if you want to keep consuming lemon is to discuss it with your health professional. The doctor can tell you whether it's safe, in what quantity, and at what time of day it's best to take it. That way you don't miss out on its benefits, but you also don't put your well-being at risk. In short, lemon isn't bad, but it isn't always neutral. And when medications are involved, it's better to ask first than to regret later. Now let's go to the third forbidden combination, one that happens every day in millions of homes and that many don't suspect. Third dangerous combination, lemon plus very salty or processed foods. There's something many older people do without thinking, because they've done it all their lives. A plate of cold cuts, some French fries, maybe some salted crackers or a packaged snack. And to compensate or add a bit of freshness, they squeeze a little lemon on top. Sometimes they do it out of habit, other times for taste, and some people believe that it makes the food sit lighter. But here's the truth. Mixing lemon with very salty or processed foods can be an especially harmful combination, particularly after 60 years. Let's break it down. Processed foods, such as cold cuts, cured meats, industrial snacks, French fries, and even certain types of canned goods, already come loaded with sodium, saturated fats, colorings, and chemical additives that alter the digestive system and blood pressure. When you add lemon to that, the effect doubles, but not in a positive way. The acid in lemon, when it comes into contact with large amounts of sodium and fat, can irritate the stomach lining, making the mixture more aggressive and provoking heartburn, inflammation, or digestive discomfort that older people feel with much greater intensity. It's not unusual that after this kind of meal someone ends up with a feeling of heaviness, acidity, or even nausea. But the problem isn't only digestive. There's also a silent but important effect. Lemon enhances the absorption of sodium in the body. And what does that mean? That if you already have high blood pressure, this combination can raise it even more without you realizing it. And if you're taking medications to control it, this mix can cancel their effects or cause imbalances. Think about it for a moment. If your body is already fighting hypertension, inflammation, fluid retention, why give it a double load of sodium and acid at the same time? This happened to Ernest, a 73-year-old man who loved deli meats with lemon. It had been his favorite snack since he was young. One ordinary afternoon, after sharing a board of cold cuts with lemon juice, he began to feel dizzy, with a headache and a sense of pressure in his chest. His blood pressure had spiked. The doctor explained that his seemingly simple meal had been the trigger. And this isn't to make you afraid, it's to inform you. Because the truth is, there are healthier, safer ways to enjoy lemon without taking risks. For example, instead of using it on French fries or processed meats, you can use it to flavor fresh salads, steamed vegetables, lentils, or brown rice. You can also add it to natural soups, warm infusions, or even to some water with digestive herbs. Lemon has a strong, clean, lively flavor, but it needs good companions. When it's combined with natural foods, the body appreciates it. When it's mixed with ultra-processed products, it becomes an irritant. After 60, the stomach no longer has the same defensive capacity as before. Blood pressure becomes more sensitive, and what caused no problem 10 years ago can end in a doctor's visit today. So if you like lemon, you don't have to give it up. Just choose better what you pair it with. Your body will tell you, with relief. Now that you know these 3 dangerous combinations, You may be asking yourself, so then, what's the right way to consume lemon after 60? Don't worry, because that's exactly what we'll see in the next part. How to use lemon correctly after 60. So far, we've talked about the risks of certain combinations with lemon, but that doesn't mean we should eliminate it completely. On the contrary, lemon can be a great ally for your health if it's used consciously and properly. After 60 years, the body appreciates natural, gentle foods full of healing properties. And lemon, when consumed at the right time, in the right amount, and alongside the right foods, can help improve digestion, strengthen the immune system, and provide an overall sense of well-being. One of the most popular and effective ways to consume it is in warm water with a few drops of lemon upon waking before breakfast. This combination can help activate the digestive system, hydrate the body after several hours of sleep, and prepare the stomach to receive food. The water shouldn't be boiling, but just warm, so as not to irritate the gastric mucosa or affect tooth enamel. And how much is appropriate? There's no need to squeeze half a lemon. A few drops, the equivalent of 1 or 2 small teaspoons, are more than enough to obtain its benefits without causing acidity or harming dental enamel. If you're going to drink it frequently, it's recommended to use a straw or rinse your mouth with water afterward to protect your teeth. Another excellent way to incorporate lemon into your daily life is as a natural dressing for fresh salads. You can mix it with a little extra virgin olive oil and a pinch of sea salt to obtain a light vinaigrette, tasty and much healthier than industrial dressings. Lemon also goes very well with gentle infusions. For example, a few drops of lemon with a warm cup of chamomile, ginger, or mint can help digestion, relieve inflammation, and calm the stomach after a heavy meal. If you want a touch of sweetness, you can add a small teaspoonful of natural honey, as long as you have no sugar restrictions. Have you ever tried water with cucumber and lemon? It's refreshing, gentle on the stomach, and excellent for staying hydrated on hot days. Just slice a few thin rounds of cucumber, add a few drops of lemon, and let it rest in water for a few minutes. Not only is it tasty, it also helps eliminate toxins naturally. Another safe and potent combination is lemon with mild grated ginger. This mix helps activate circulation, improves digestion, and can give a boost of energy in the mornings. But remember, everything in the right measure. A little ginger, a few drops of lemon, and a cup of warm water. You can also use lemon to flavor soups, stews, or steamed fish. Adding it after cooking preserves its properties better and prevents it from turning bitter. The key is to avoid excess and choose the right times of day. It isn't necessary to have lemon with every meal. Once or twice a day is more than enough to notice its positive effects without risk. And if you have a sensitive stomach, a history of gastritis or reflux, or you take delicate medications, it's best to consult your doctor before making lemon a daily habit. Now that we've reached the end of this journey, let's review the most important points, clearly and simply. First, we saw how lemon, although healthy, can become a problem when mixed with milk or other dairy, especially when hot. That combination can make digestion difficult and provoke heartburn or stomach discomfort. Then, we talked about a much more delicate interaction, lemon with medications, especially those used to control blood pressure or prevent clots. That mix can alter treatment effects, and in some cases, put your health at risk without you noticing right away. And lastly, we discovered how combining lemon with very salty or processed foods, such as cold cuts, industrial snacks, or French fries, can inflame the stomach, raise blood pressure, and make digestion more difficult, something especially dangerous from a certain age onward. But this isn't a list to scare you. It's a guide to taking care of yourself. Because when you understand how your body works and what you need to avoid, you make wiser decisions. And every decision, no matter how small it seems, can make a big difference. Knowledge is power. And now you have information in your hands that could help you, or someone you love. Maybe until today you thought lemon could only do good. Maybe you've been combining it with other foods without suspecting that this was causing you discomfort or interfering with your treatment. That's no longer the case today. Today you have one more tool to live with more awareness and with more well-being. And now I want to invite you to tell me, have you had any bad experience with lemon? Or do you consume it every day? Tell me in the comments. I'll love to read your story and learn how you're living this stage of your life. And if you think this video could help someone, a family member, a friend, a colleague, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. I assure you it can make a difference. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to take care of yourself. See you in the next video.